So we got with Ron, and he gave us like huge amounts of lettuce. These are, oh my gosh, it almost makes me cry to want to cut these up. They look so gorgeous, and I am not going to waste any of this at all. Some of these look they're about ready to bolt. I'd like to almost set them in the greenhouse and get some seeds off of these. So I'm going to take these little net baskets off. These will be returned. And I found that these stalks make an excellent source of food for the goats because they like to chomp on things. So I'm pretty sure they love this. All the leaves I'm chopping up a little bit finer into an emu bucket. Not that they'll eat them all by themselves. The goats will help out with that. Even the chickens will help with that. So in here I'm putting the stalks for the goats. And what I'll do with that is I'll also slice up some pumpkin. This one was frozen, so it's kind of really getting soft now. And almost looks like the cat wants some of this. Look at that. She's just always around when I'm preparing food here in the barn for the animals. This is kind of my little prep table, and I have all kinds of different things up here. I usually prepare cats, apparently. No, I prepare pumpkins, and these are the pumpkins I've collected from the ex-Halloween leftover, which mostly around Decatur and Burn. I have plenty left. That big one scares me a little bit. But they get about a pumpkin or a pumpkin and a half a day, so I slice them really thin, cut them up to bits, and sprinkle some grain on them, and that's what they eat with their hay. That's for the goats. The emus do like some of the pumpkins, but they don't like the rind, so for them I got to chop it up finely, and it's a little bit extra work because they're a little fidgety. But we are going to keep chopping up because the goats have already spotted us, and they are out there making a little racket waiting to be fed. So with the goats wanting some, the emus be right behind them wanting something. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Right, stranger? Yeah, she's my help. Let's get those chopped. So here's the unruly crowd. They've been complaining ever since they heard me in the barn, cutting up some food. Let's see. Normally when they get fresh vegetables, we usually put them out here on this table. That just, the grain is always fed inside. The fresh vegetables usually out here. So let's see how they do. Let me put some on the table and see if they're all going to come for dinner real quick. Actually, can I hold this and do it? Let's see. Because I got them here in some buckets. So if I empty some of this out, the emus are running already. They know something's up. Oh my gosh. Okay, here is the goat's food, which is some of the lettuce cut up with the pumpkin. And since the emus don't like the large cuts, I cut them up a little bit something finer. Now I have a feeling that they're not going to get a whole bunch, so I might have to put it in their actual feeder. So, looks like there you go. What, Sheila? Shaking your head at that? Normally I put lettuce, tomatoes, and an actual real salad with carrots together, and they will just munch away at it. There you go. Come on. You know it's good. Bruce! She's just dropping it everywhere. Maybe she's looking for the carrots, because I know they do love carrots. Come on, you guys love lettuce. I'm always making you lettuce. Look, Bruce. Here's my baby. Hey, Bruce. Because you know if you don't eat it, look at them little vultures over there. They just can't get enough. Here, I'll sprinkle this around a bit for you. There you go. Yeah, see, they just want grain. It might have something to do with the cold because they do not go into the barn during the night. No matter how cold it is, they will not go in the barn. I have to physically lock them up when it gets down like in the negatives because they will just sit there. Now the rest of this, I'm going to mix in with their food. They might eat it with the grain. Since I know in the winter time they usually produce more heat when they have grain. So that might be a instinct kind of thing with the emus. But lately, there you go. Lately I have been giving them, like say, carrots. They've had some celery, a little bit of lettuce, but that was mixed in with tomatoes. And I know they chomp away at tomatoes constantly. I usually grow them a garden just for the animals that have turnips, beets, and all kinds of things. Let me go bring this in here. I will mix this with some of their, let me turn on the light here. We got one of these handy dandy timer lights. Oops, I just turned it off. Turned it on too far. So let's leave it on for whatever that said, an hour. Oof. I am going to mix this in to the emu food because I think that they might enjoy it with it. I'm gonna have to turn this off because as you can see, everybody's fighting for it now. Let me go pause this. Well, I found that if I throw it in their food bowl, mix it with a little grain, they do have a go at it. Like I said, they have been fed grain as their main diet in these last, well, since about second week in November. It's almost exclusively grain and very rarely a few greens, and they usually devour the greens when they get them. Like I say, it may just be that they know they need the bulk for the winter, and it is breeding season, and these guys do lay eggs during the cold season. So when the chicks hatch, it is warmer. So even in Australia, they would lay between like June, July, and August, which is their winter. And here, our winter is obviously November, December, January, kind of February, December through February. So this is their breeding season here, which these guys here will actually make a nest and sit on the eggs for up to a month before they hatch. I say a month, it's almost 2 months actually. It's about 55 to 65 days, so it's just over a couple of months. The female, she will just lay the egg and walk away, and that's pretty much it for raising their young. That's all she needs to do, and why not? She produces it, she puts all that energy into making the eggs, and the guys just take care of the rest, which is kind of nice. There they are eating the lettuce. I guess it just had to be a little more enticed. Like I say, they normally love their greens. And it could also be because in our greens we do have tomatoes, sometimes there's yellow pepper, so it's kind of colorful. I'm not sure if they can see or how they see color, if they see the spectrums, what spectrums they see, and it could also be that they like the colors. I know in the summer they're always eating greens and vegetables. This is Bruce. He is super friendly. He just wants to love with everybody. Go eat. Come on, you got to go eat. Go eat something. Go eat. Come on. Nope, he's going to go out and prance around for a little bit. And the goats are eating. I still have some lettuce out there. Looks like the chickens have picked up some from the bottom there that fell. So they're having a good time. Guinea fowl. Yeah, they're just throwing the alarm like every day. Hey. Yeah, he's my baby. You're my baby. Yes, you are. He is totally in breeding mode. He just wants to breed. So wherever I go, he will follow me. Just don't stand still for too long or sit down. He will snuggle up to you, and he doesn't want you to get away. I usually take a little walk so I can see if Sheila has laid an egg anywhere in particular, so I monitor the corners of the pastures because that is where the boys are starting to make nests. In most of the corners I have supplied some straw, hay, leaves, sticks, anything, mulch, all kinds of stuff that they like to make it comfortable for her to lay. So every day I kind of swing by here to see if she has laid an egg. Sometimes it's not obvious because the boys do cover them up. I don't see one in this side. Then on this side we have exclusively beds of leaves that we've raked in over the fall and made a really deep bedding with the leaves. In some spots it's almost dry, even though it's not really that protected. A little bit from the woods and stuff, but not so much. And then of course we have mulch. We have a big mountain. Actually we have several mountains of mulch that we had delivered. There's a couple there. One is exclusively pine, which I love. And then we have one where it is for the greenhouse and the surrounding. And then of course way in that corner over there I have put some mulch down for them to use as bedding as well. And then of course we have another mulch bedding right in the front by the gate under that red tarp, because they like to hang out there and watch when somebody comes out of the front door, or the back door rather. As soon as somebody walks out of that back door, they are up and running, because they think every time they see a human, it's feeding time, which is almost true, because they are super socialized. They love to be around humans, as you can see. You can't get very far without him being very close to you. Very close. He has no sense of personal space whatsoever. He will just be right up in you. There is no personal space for Bruce. And there's my Sheila. You can hear her drumming. That's the female. She's not too keen on Bruce. I have a feeling that when she breeds, she will be breeding with Boomerang. Because as you can see, she's a little aggressive towards Bruce. She's a little bit of a go away, who wants you here? But he is actually dancing for me. Look at him. He's all strutting around me. He's just so lovey-dovey, dancing, and I know. But no, Bruce, I have a headache. You can leave that at home. You want to walk with me? Come on then. Come and strut with me. See if I can get him. I don't even know if I can get him on video, because I'm walking forward and I got the video pointed backwards, so I'm not even sure if I'm getting anything of him. I may or I may not. But either way, you might get a few glimpses of him just following, and if I stop, there he goes, just looking at me. He'll peck at me, and then he'll dance for me and strut around me. He is awesome. Come on guys, let's finish your dinner. Let's see if I can get them back in the barn so they can finish up their meal. Today they will be get fed twice, since we have to leave to go to Fort Wayne today. I get to see my granddaughter, because Christmas was kind of canceled because of the bad weather. So we have kind of rescheduled the Christmas to be New Year's Eve, which is today. And I'm all excited to see her. So what I'll do, they normally get fed around 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, usually by the latest at 5. So they're getting a little bit of food now, and it's, what is it now, about 11:30, something like that, close to noon. They will get their half meal. So then they'll hang out, and then hopefully when we get back, it won't be too late. And they won't be starving, so because they're all going to have something to eat. I've even put some alfalfa hay out there for them, so they can munch on that, since they need something for their little rumen to get going. And they've got the lettuce and pumpkin in here, which they've devoured quite a lot of it already. Yeah, Pan. Some more of that, huh? Yeah. They're loving it now. I have the chopped up lettuce out here still. I have a feeling the emus will come out later on and start pecking away at it, because they are eating it now inside. Once that's gone, they're going to start looking for more. And then we've got the little chopped up ones here with some pumpkin seeds. Not just that, but I know that also the chickens will love to have some of it. Well, how did she get up there? I don't know. That's one of the laying hens. I think she's going to be laying. So the ones that I'm getting rid of are not the Buff Brahma and not the I Am Samanis, but anything in between. Well, there's two that I can't. Pokey right here, she stays. She's a Lyonnaise female. Her right there, the fluffy one. And then she has a daughter that's right behind her. She's staying. There's Ruru. He is an Easter egger I Am Samani rooster. His dad was an I Am Samani. His mom was an Easter egger. So he's staying. But I do have, for instance, her. She's a mix between, and I think it's an I Am Samani, and who knows, could be an Easter egger, could be an Americana. Not sure what she's doing. Then I've got that brown one that's running over there with I Am Samanis, and there's one that looks like an Americana that has a beard. I know there's an olive egger in there because I'm getting olive eggs. I'm not sure who's laying it, so I believe it's one of them. So yeah, I have about 6 laying hens, or soon to be laying hens, that can leave, and there's actually a couple of roosters. One is I Am Samani mix, and the other one, I think that's the only one. the others are all females. They're staying, especially my I am Samanis and my buff Brahmas, because those I will be breeding in the spring. So I will need those. And guineas, well, they can stay. I might only keep 2 because really I started off with 3 actually. 2 lavenders and a black. Now I got 5. There's one missing there. Who knows where he is? But yeah, they can stay. They're good alarm systems. Alright, we're almost time. I gotta go over and check on the meat chickens. And these are the meat chickens. They're getting bigger. Yeah, their due date for processing is somewhere around the 19th of January. So whatever weekend falls closer, or the one after the 19th, that is when they have a processing date. And we will go ahead and turn them into freezer objects. And just now I just put in some fresh water and some more feed. We're going to air this out a little bit because we need to put more straw down. I just put mulch down 2 days ago and already it's got a carpet of poop on it, so I'm going to rake some of that out, put some straw over the top. So they pretty much have to be cleaned every 2 days. That is why next year I will be doing this in a tractor so we can have them out on the pasture and move them every day to a new spot. So that way they fertilize the ground, they can eat the bugs in the grass as well as their feed, and they will have nice green pasture to stand on every day. Because trying to keep them warm during the winter, we did have the heat lamp on until I believe yesterday is when I turned the heat lamp off, since we don't have any more of those frigid cold days, and at night I do close this door that has hardware cloth on it so nothing can get in. During the day I leave this open even though it is muddy outside. They have a little run here. If they really wanted to, they can go into that little run with the grass in there. They don't even walk that far. We have a little separate area here for my buff Brahmas for next year. There's only going to be 2 of them that are breeding, a male and a female. So that's more than enough room for them. And it'll only be for a few weeks. And then this one here is of course totally enclosed, up and down. Used to be one of those old gazebos. And we just used the frame and wrapped chicken wire all the way around it and butted it up to Copacabana. And this is where we normally put our chicks in the spring. After we incubate the chicks, they go in here until they are ready to mingle with the flock, or if people want them, they will be sold. And they only stay in here until they're old enough or start laying eggs or start crowing. Either way, that's when they get out. So in the summer this is used more heavily than in the winter normally, but this year I put the Cornish cross in there, which I will not be doing next year this time of year. They will be done earlier, so they will have a processing date in September, October at the latest, because this is trying to keep them alive during the winter, and being cooped up is not ideal for them, not ideal for me. It's a lot of work, and why make it so hard? Even though they do have still a good life, they're just a little poopy right now. They should really need changed every day. But I put enough mulch in there to, hopefully every 2 days is good enough, especially since this door goes all the way through and it can air out. They're not cooped up in like a little, just a little vent in there, so any smell that's in there gets aired out pretty quickly. And they do have the opportunity to walk around a little bit out here, but they choose not to. Every now and then 1 or 2 will step out, but not very far. They will just lay out here and then waddle their way back in there. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and leave them in there. And like I say, another, 2 weeks or so, 2.5, 3 weeks, they are going to be in our freezer. And some people who want to come and help process and learn how to do this will be taking home meat as well. I would like to make a video on the processing from start to finish. I would like to use pretty much all of the bird, the heart, the gizzard, the liver, just not, of course, the lungs and the gallbladder and the intestines. We don't need those. Those will all be in the compost. We don't have pigs, so we're not feeding those to the pigs, but they will be composted along with the feathers. And the feet will be making some really good broth. Same with the, once we part them up, we'll have like chicken breast, chicken thighs, and then we'll have the rest of the carcass go to broth, to make chicken broth. So that should be enough to feed our family through probably the next winter, along with the pork that we just had processed, or processed ourselves rather. We have, I believe, four pigs in the freezer. Actually 3. Wait, 1, 2. I think we got 3. That's right, because we donated three whole pigs as well. So we should be set for the whole next year for meat, except for beef, which not necessary really, but every now and then we do go out and we'll buy ground beef or steaks or whatever. But we don't have that very often, so we should be okay.